Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shit. Oh, wait. So the alderman was drugged because he was really strong? Did you see those rock-hard muscles of his? I'm surprised the spear even managed to pierce that armor-like musculature. I've never even heard of that word. I can guess what it's supposed to mean, but yeah, no. I admit, I'm completely jealous of that righteous body of his. Well, he did look pretty buff, even in that suit he had on. Quite a difference compared with a yellow belly like you, huh? Yellow belly? Who even says that anymore? Yeah, and the color's all wrong, too. Oh, I know. How about a squishy red tomato? Quit helping him! I move to strike both of your comments from the record. Mr. Justice's character is not the issue here. Now, let's get back to what happened after the far more muscular alderman was impaled. Hey! Yes, well, your average person would likely have died on the spot. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed the statue and struck back. Hold it, wait. Could he really have attacked his attacker after being impaled with that huge spear? Absolutely! After all, he was once a pro wrestler. The justice of being drugged, that's then speared, was answered with a righteous counterattack. But does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman? Absolutely! Well, you want me to tell you something? At least he's not saying stupid stuff like that. That guy, that Mr. White or whatever, of Blue Corp, going abso-positively or whatever. Absolutely! After all, he was one of the good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he could still don his superhero guise in times of need. Objection! You need to lay off the comic books, detective. We're talking about real life here. Setting aside the half-wits fights of fancy, the fact is this. The court ordered, post-mortem, concluded the victim moved after his skewering. So he found the strength somehow to attack his attacker, huh? Do I have evidence? Detective Fulbright's testimony sounds airtight. No wonder he's so confident. No, he only thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. That part of the alderman fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting for it to be poked. I have to agree. I have to really agree with that. Let's see. What do we got here? What do we got? Do we have like a biopsy report? Oh, autopsy, not biopsy. Cause of death, stabbed with spear. Let me look at the other evidence because it doesn't say anything about, like, sudden death or whatever. I mean, there's certain things that I can say here. I'd rather save, just in case. First, save right there. Because there's 3 different things I can say. First, is that there's no fingerprints on the, on this. So why? Because he has gloves on. Or he doesn't have gloves on, so should have been fingerprints on that. Second, he's on the tail, lying there. He shouldn't be... He wasn't, like, against... Like, yeah, he should be... He was dead. And then finally, the victim had been in a drug-induced slumber. Let me try this. No, no, that wasn't it. No, no. Consider the evidence. Consider the evidence. There's obviously something wrong with that statement. Your gall knows no bounds. It's shocking, really. What's that supposed to mean? You stand there brazenly objecting to perfectly factual statements. One does not see such shameless behavior that often. A penalty for our shameless attorney. Oh no. Looks like Black Quill is turning the judge against me. Yeah, I got it wrong. My next guess would be... the statue! Okay, I should have went with my gut and said the first thing that I showed. Did the alderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Yeah. Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. Your claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him? The statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory. It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well. Let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective statue theory. There are no fingerprints, like I said. There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed. If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some kind of fingerprint, true? Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? Ah! This can't be happening! Did I arrest the wrong man? You did it, Apollo! You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse! Well, it's just 1 point in our favor. Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman? Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there was a third party there in the Fox chamber? Exactly! And this could have been the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackquill, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion? The least you could do is look at me while being dismissive. Your mind is as dull and as unhoned as a blade. Justice Dono. Justice Dono? He's been watching way too many samurai flicks. It will take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. A whelp such as you has no hope against my superior swordsmanship. This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell. There is a perfectly good explanation for the lack of fingerprints on the statue. You might recall that bloodstained cloth found at the scene of the crime? Well, it just so happens that the blood was actually the mare's. So, what are you getting at? Come on, keep moving back and forth and make it go. Aw, I was expecting the hair to go up. Hone your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle, and you shall see that the hole you thought you found is but an illusion. Now, let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used by Kyuubi as a head covering? Well, it doesn't look... I'm gonna obviously save here because I know something's probably gonna happen if I try to do this, so... It was cut by Kyuubi as a head covering! The alderman was probably wearing it over his head! What? Do you truly think the alderman would show up to a meeting over the fate of his village? Wearing this ridiculous-looking cloth over his head? Sure, they had a festival that day, didn't they? Who's to say he didn't party a little too hard and just forgot to take it off? Right? Huh? 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 What? What? I'm right? Okay, fine. So maybe he didn't do that. Can I try one more time? Now, let's see. How was the cloth used? Was it used... It was used to wrap the statue! Maybe the alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth. In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike the mare. Ah! Precisely. Bully for you, boy. Aw, it was nothing. Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you too. You just closed the hole for the prosecution. I did? I did! Right. The statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprints, as plain as day. Oh, that was the right answer. I should have picked the wiped the fingerprints, even though it would have kind of made sense. But I guess, yeah, being wrapped. But at the same time, why would it? Seemed like there was a lot of blood on the statue to be kind of whatever. But this also proves there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back. Oops. That face. Now, do you see how dull your mind is? I'll make sure to sharpen it next time. A particularly frightening inmate once told me that he always tenderly honed his blades before he went to work, like the samurai of yore. Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me! Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time. Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef? What? It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all. I was kinda attached to that hole. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. If they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue, who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it? Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left fingerprints on it. Then who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please, illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady. There's only one answer. The real killer! Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence do you have? And such, the first day of the job goes to prove the facts by giving evidence. Because without any evidence, well, there's nothing to prove. Oh, I'll give you evidence, all right. Oh, I want to see some evidence. Athena, are you sure about this? To borrow your words, Apollo, I'm fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks, allegedly from a yokai, were found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue. Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed that alderman? That's exactly what I'm trying to suggest. I would have said it with less making it sound like it was a monster and more that it was a guy dressed up in a monster suit, kind of like Scooby-Doo. Objection! No, Athena, you just lost what little credibility we had left. Ah! Sorry. I guess I got a little carried away. Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense. Sorry, Your Honor. It's just this kid's still, well, a kid. Come here, Athena. We need a little talk, okay? Ouch. You meanie! I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright. So, this court believes the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it? No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. The real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman. Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would do that? Why indeed? We actually haven't gotten that far yet. Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is. Oh, come on! Ouch! I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright. Hi! I'm in the gallery, remember? Hoy, fool Bright. Explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks. What? You mean you can actually explain that? Our investigative prowess is without equal. I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession. Very well. Let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks. This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters. So, he struck the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. Oops, I just made that. Okay. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer. Wait, that was it? Those feathers and tracks stoked the villagers' fears? Absolutely! He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenmataro, that is. Tenma who? Tenmataro, the legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black-feathered demon, and thus were they blinded to other... and thus they were blinded to other, more plausible explanations. Hold it. Hold on for a second. Before we start letting our imaginations run wild, isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect? Mr. Justice, please, explain yourself. On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at Kyubi Manor. And as part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenmataro. Obviously, this person is much more likely suspect than any legendary demon.
Objection!
Wait, your objection sounds way too high for your voice, but whatever. Dullard, you are playing right into the killer's mind games. What? Listen here. The feathers and tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believe the murder to be the work of the real Tenmataro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenmataro suit is the killer. Ah! The defendant sought to sow the confusion in order to deflect blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman, and thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself. Fulbright. Right! It was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The amazing Ninetales was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known masked wrestlers, and the hometown favorite, I might add. That is why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice. But do the people of Ninetales Vale really believe a yokai to be the crime behind the crime? Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I must say, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressionable minds. Just so, a particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest to prey. You don't say! Was this inmate a con artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually felt sorry for the old poor chap. Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey? Yes, well... Now then, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination. Finally. Okay, let's get this started. This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush the opposition to the municipal... Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. Detective Fulbright. Is the anti-merger movement really that strong? Oh, absolutely! You say absolutely a lot. I will say that. They parade around in yokai costumes shouting, "Down with Mayor Tenma!" And just the other day they stormed Tenma City Hall, claiming it was a den of vipers! But when the accused show his face, the angry mob scattered like leaves upon an autumn wind. For you see, lowly yokai are no match for Tenmataro, the dark lord of their kind. Wait, are the villagers scared of Mayor Tenma or Tenmataro? I'm confused. I think he means Mayor Tenma. It's easy to get the wrong impression about the guy. Detective Fulbright, why do you suppose the defendant would commit such an act? Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing non-tails helped embolden protesters. Wait, what? The amazing Nine Tails. No one knows his true identity, right? That's right! And he was a lone wolf. Or in other words, he didn't belong to a wrestling federation. He appeared like a shooting star, defeating one Tenma Town wrestler after another. And before anyone knew it, he was champion! Like the samurai of yore, surrounded thick with enemies, he cut them down one by one. It was a complete and utter loss of face for Tenma Town Pro Wrestling. He was amazing! If ever there was a real superhero, it would definitely be him. It would absolutely be him. I dream of becoming a true champion of justice, just like him one day. I bet Detective Fulbright would be a great pro wrestler. He could even team up with Prosecutor Blackwell. A police detective and a prisoner in chains? Chains? What? Would they be known as the cops and robbers? Or something like that. You know, I think people actually would pay to see that. I know I would. So you do understand the greatness that is of the amazing Nine Tails! So, he stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster! Whoa, 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 whoa. Did the murder and yokai evidence really stoke the villagers' fears? Absolutely! It had an immediate effect! The presumed return of the dreaded Tenmataro has them shaking in their boots! Oh my! Is it really that bad? That superstitious lot. It's as if Jack the Ripper had been set loose in their village. The mere thought of that demon lurking about is enough to spark a mass exodus. I see. That's a very persuasive argument. The mere thought of his honor buying into Simon the Psycho Slasher's words makes me want to spark my own exodus out of the courtroom right about now. So you see, there can only be one reason why anyone would plant those feathers in tracks. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was indeed the killer. Wait. But it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it off with murder? What do you mean? You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the villagers' fears. If so, then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman Kyubi? Excellent point. It is, isn't it? So your honor agrees that there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Perhaps the killing was spur of the moment. You're saying it was wasn't premeditated? From the outset, I had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery. A startling discovery? Why don't I like the sound of that? I already know where this is going. Alderman Kyubi's secret identity. Apollo. I think Prosecutor Blackwell has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even if he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder? This is not good. This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the amazing Nine-Tails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Oh my! But why would it have been there? The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more? Well, could it really be? Your baldness has an epiphany, I see. Our victim, Rex Kyubi, was the amazing Nine-Tails, and the mayor's discovery of such was his motive for murder. No! You weren't supposed to figure that out! Order! Order! What a shocking development! A motive clearer than crystal clear! What do we do now, Apollo? I didn't think they'd tie the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder. At last, we've reached my real point. Why did the Alderman have to forge a secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your baldness? I admit, it does. It is odd that he had to create his other persona just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement. Very astute of you, your baldness. Right! Now take a look at this! Blackmail. Wait a minute. Wait. What? If you value your dearest life, you will merge Nine-Tails Vale with Tenma Town. This blackmail letter was found in Alderman Kyubi's pocket. What? At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital. And that letter is clear evidence that the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life. Wait, didn't the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tenma go missing? Right after the alderman's murder? Oh no! No, 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 no. Oh god, the frickin' murderer just, like, he went into the mayor's suitcase, grabbed the letter, and put it in the freaking alderman's pocket, and now it looks like the wife was what he was talking about. Crap! You think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder and planted it into the alderman's pocket? Yeah, it's possible, but we don't have any proof that that's what happened. Talk about being up the creek without a paddle. God dang it. I should have known that was gonna come bite me back in the ass. Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he just left after planning the yokai things. But he was knocked out cold by his sudden decision to kill the amazing Ninetales. So, it was the amazing Ninetales' counterattack that brought the entire crime to light. Wait a second. Wait. Fulbright's claiming that the mayor killed the alderman after planting yokai evidence, and that the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that? Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony. We're not done with that cross-examination yet. Mayor Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers and tracks.